You've done it. You've downloaded a Bitcoin wallet. It's just sitting there on your phone or maybe your computer, and you're probably staring at it thinking, all right, what now? Well, today, we're going to answer that exact question. We're going on a little quest to turn that empty wallet into your very first Bitcoin holding. This is pretty much where everyone starts. It feels a little like opening a new bank account, but there's no bank, no one to call, it's just you. So to make this real, we're going to follow the journey of a brand new user. Let's call her Alice. We're going to see how she figures out how to get her hands on her very first Bitcoin. Okay, first things first. The second Alice created her wallet, something amazing happened in the background. It generated her private key. You've got to think of this as the one master key to your kingdom. It's the ultimate secret password for all your funds, and it's something you must never, ever share with anyone. From that one secret key, your wallet can then create public Bitcoin addresses, and those are actually safe to share. So let's take a closer look at what those addresses really are.
Right. So an address is basically just a string of letters and numbers that tells people where to send your Bitcoin. But here's the really cool part. Alice's wallet creates these addresses all by itself, completely offline. They're not registered with some central company or server. And this is a huge deal, because it means Alice has total control from the very beginning, even before she sent or received a single thing.
Now, this is where you have to kind of rewire your brain a little. We're all used to having one bank account number that we use over and over again. With Bitcoin, doing that is actually a bad move for your privacy. It's much better to think of a Bitcoin address like a single-use invoice number. And just as important, nobody can ever use one of your addresses to pull money out of your wallet. It's strictly for receiving.
So, Alice has her first address. Great! Now she needs to share it so someone can actually send her some Bitcoin. Let's see how that works, and talk about the number one rule she has to follow to keep her financial life private.
The whole process is actually super simple. Her wallet will show her this long, kind of clunky string of characters, but way more useful is the QR code it also generates. Someone else can just scan that with their phone and they're good to go. And remember, sharing this is 100% safe for receiving Bitcoin. It tells them nothing about how much you have or gives them any access to your funds.
And this is that crucial rule I was just talking about. The Bitcoin network, the blockchain, it's public. So if Alice uses the exact same address for every payment she ever gets, anyone who has that address can just look it up and see a full list of every single payment that ever came into it. It's kind of like having all your pay stubs posted on a public bulletin board. This is just a brilliant way to think about it. Imagine every time you wanted someone to pay you, you gave them a brand new, totally clear envelope. They can put the money in, and yeah, anyone can see how much went into that one specific envelope, but they have no idea about all your other envelopes. That's exactly why your wallet is designed to give you a fresh, new address every single time you ask for a payment. Okay, so Alice is ready to go. She's got her address, she understands the privacy stuff, and then, bam, she hits a wall. She tries to buy some Bitcoin with her credit card, and nothing happens instantly. This is probably the first big hurdle almost every single new user runs into.
I mean, it's a totally fair question, right? We live in a world of one-click purchases and instant payments, so why is this so hard? Well, the answer really gets to the core of what makes Bitcoin so fundamentally different from all the payment systems we use every day.
It all comes down to the seller's risk. You see, a Bitcoin transaction is final. Once it's sent, it cannot be reversed. It's like digital cash. But a credit card payment, that can be reversed. It's called a chargeback. So a scammer could buy Bitcoin, receive it, and then call their credit card company to reverse the charge. The seller's left with nothing. To protect themselves from that huge risk, exchanges have to verify who you are. And, that process, it takes time.
But hey, this hurdle doesn't mean Alice's quest is over. Not at all. It just means she's got to be a little smart about which path she takes. So let's explore the 4 main ways she can get her hands on that first bit of Bitcoin. So here they are, the 4 main routes. Honestly, the simplest way is often just to find a friend who already has some Bitcoin and buy it directly from them. Or you could earn it. Sell something, do a job, and get paid in Bitcoin. Then you have the more formal routes. There are physical Bitcoin ATMs where you can feed in cash, or you can use an online exchange that hooks up to your bank account. And that's the path that almost always involves that identity verification we just talked about.
So let's say Alice does it. She's got Bitcoin in her wallet, mission accomplished. But her journey isn't quite over, because there's one last really important lesson she learns, especially if she ended up using one of those online currency exchanges.
This right here, this is the big promise of Bitcoin, isn't it?
that when you use it the right way, generating new addresses, you can send and receive money without plastering your real-world identity all over every single transaction.
And here's the catch. The moment you need to turn your regular money, your dollars or euros, into Bitcoin using an exchange, you have to build a bridge between the old financial world and this new crypto world.
So here it is, the big trade-off. When you give your ID to an exchange, you're creating a direct, permanent link between your real-world identity and the Bitcoin addresses that exchange gives you. From that point on, it's much easier for those transactions to be traced back to you. And that's why you see this tip here, which a lot of savvy users do. They treat their exchange account like an on-ramp for money, but they immediately move their Bitcoin to a separate, personal wallet that has no connection to their name.
And that really gets to the heart of the matter. Bitcoin is designed to put the power and control back into your hands. But with that power comes responsibility. It's your job to understand how it all works, to protect your money and to protect your privacy. It is a whole new way of thinking about money. And the real question is, are you ready to take charge?